So the book of Revelation, I remind you this in every class, the context for it is, it follows Christ's death, burial, and resurrection, ascension to heaven. The first generation church launched on the day of Pentecost. By the 60s, most of the Gospels were written, not John's Gospel. Most of the epistles were finished, not Jude and a few others, and definitely not Revelation. And they had begun to spread widely, but so had the Christians. They followed the trade routes. In fact, we covered already the church at Thyatira. There was already a believer in Thyatira from Paul's missionary journeys. Do you remember her name? You remember Lydia, a Thyatiran merchant? She came to Christ in Philippi because she was a business traveler who had come with her business from Thyatira. I would show you on that map, that church that was up there on the kind of 2 o'clock on a clock face of the Roman Asia. She, a businesswoman, had gone to Philippi, gotten saved, and when she came back to visit her family, most likely she was the one that brought the gospel to Thyatira. So Christianity was spreading widely. Then the principal apostles, Paul and Peter and the rest of them, are martyred. This second generation that have never seen Christ, probably never met an apostle, are doing Christ in their churches, and Jesus comes back to visit. And he goes to 7 churches, and he walks around, and he's kind of got his physician's pad, and he's looking at their heart rate and their pulse spiritually, and their metabolism, and he writes back a medical report. That's what the 7 letters are. Well, let's see about Laodicea. Distraction is an idol. I call it the idolatry of distraction. When the people of the first century that I just showed you came to Christ, they had to go on living in that world, that lust-feeding, self-seeking world. To make it through life without getting neutralized or defeated or sidelined, God's word taught them the key to godly living. Do you know what it is? Avoiding the ultimate temptation. What is the ultimate temptation? Well, it's different for every one of us. Did you know that? Satan designs lusts as a designer. He designs it just for us. That's why it says in Hebrews 12 that you should lay aside the sin that so easily besets you. For some people, it's shoes. For some people, it's clothes. For other people, it's, their makeup or their hair. For some people, it's their car. It's what distracts them. For some people, it's entertainment. For some people, it's exercise and sports and health. But all of us have an ultimate temptation. What is a temptation? Anything that distracts us from the supremacy of Christ. That he's what we think about when we first wake up in the morning. He's what we keep going back to all through the day. That's what praying without ceasing is. It's kind of like he is always on the line, and we're talking to him, and then we go through life and go, and I'm back with you now. And then we go through. It's kind of like what you do when you pull up, at the pickup window. You're still doing something in the car, and you say, hold on just a second. And well, who even does that? You've got your earbuds or AirPods or whatever they're called in. But you know what I mean? You say, hold on just a second, I'm at the pickup window. I mean, when my kids talk to me, that's what they always say. Just a second, Dad. And they go, yep, thank you so much. And they go right back to talking to me. That's what praying without ceasing is like. You're connected to God. You go through life and do everything you're supposed to, but you're always talking with him. How do you avoid the ultimate temptation?